Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Overtime with B&T. This is episode 12. That's right, 12. I am here with my...
This guy just got a phone call.
Okay.
I'm dead.
Anyways,
All right.
I'm here with my two main guys right here. I got the homie Dave and the homie Tim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, while Brandon is taking care of his, I guess you can say his final destination phone call.
I think it stopped now.
I'm crying. Like Brandon said, welcome to episode 12 of Overtime with B&T. It's just featuring David at this point. It's featuring Nick Chubb Sr. at this point.
Well, you know what I mean? I wanted him back because I needed to hear his thoughts on his team, so we needed him back. Him back.
Well, 100%.
I'm always happy to be here, guys.
Hey, welcome back, Dave. Brandon, good to see you. I see he's quite ecstatic. I guess you could say Brandon's like what is it? He's loading a Kamehameha right now, ready to just explode. Pause. Before this game.
Not even 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes.
Get through the intro.
It's in the intro. Hey, we gotta get it out of the way, bro. Like those picks.
Hey,
but nonetheless,
you're right.
We had a crazy divisional round of football that was filled with highs for some, lows for others, and basically underneath the earth's core low for specific individuals. And
before we go forward,
go ahead.
I just want to say appreciate all you guys who have been listening in. Sir. I appreciate y'all for staying with us during the playoffs, especially. If you're listening to it on YouTube, I appreciate you, but I also want you to go listen to your version as well. You know, we need some love over on Anchor with all our other links, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those others. Give it a little listen, give a little love. Give us a nice review. Assume that you like it, or if you don't like it, that's fine too. Give us some constructive criticism. We are open for improvement. Anyways,
need a better mic.
Yes.
Yeah, we need budget. We need to get a better mic. Yeah, but if you guys check out the YouTube version of it, we have the new intro for the show, which will be dropping preferably when this episode comes out on YouTube. The new playoff intro. Shout out to Brandon for even posting this stuff on all the different platforms, doing all the back burner work, and my late behind for the thumbnails and whatnot.
I hope y'all see those thumbnails, man. Those he really be coming up with some creative thumbnails too.
It's just, we gotta let our talents shine while some let the sun set on their talents. So our first game that went down in the divisional wildcard round was the Rams and the Packers. I guess you could say it was the test. Can a great quarterback overcome a great defense? And the answer was undoubtedly so. It was a destruction of the ages for Sean McVay and his Los Angeles Rams. I was about to say the St. Louis Rams. So what do you boys think? What happened that game? Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the man who shut down the entire wide receiver core of 2020. What happened?
Well, for starters, Aaron Rodgers didn't get touched. That's pretty much it. Like I don't even think he got sacked. Like he barely got pressured, but like they didn't even knock him to the ground like at all. And like as great as your defense is, like let's look at for say like when the Broncos 2015 when they beat Brady. What was the thing that they did to Brady? They got him, they pressured him, they got him off his post. Like it throws off your timing with your receivers, because when you're waiting for your receiver to break off his route, but then when you have somebody pressuring you, you got to move off your spot. And it just, with guys like Aaron Rodgers, guys like Brady with Breeze, you can't just sit in zone because they'll just pick apart the zone. You have to pressure them and throw off their timing. And the Rams didn't do that. Aaron Donald, like he was out there for like most of the half, but then I don't even think he played towards the end because the man was pretty much playing with the torn rib cartilage. So probably once the blood started flowing, that's when he started feeling it, and they're like, the game's getting away. But they probably saw how he's performed. They're like, we're not gonna risk it. Like, so.
But the crazy thing is that, like, I don't know if people realize how much of a scrambler Aaron Rodgers actually is.
Crazy.
Like, I wouldn't even put him in that category. Like, if you were to look at the spectrum of quarterbacks, let's say you have, Tom Brady and Drew Brees on the far left where they're pocket passers, and you have somebody like Lamar Jackson or even Kyler Murray all the way to the other side. Aaron Rodgers is actually closer to the Lamar Jackson and the Kyler Murrays when it comes to a scrambling kind of quarterback. I'm not talking about Armstrong. I'm talking about movement.
I do want to point out very quickly, though, Lamar Jackson is a pocket passer. It's his preference. He just happens to be like a 4.3 speed. His preference is to sit back and throw. If you watch him at Louisville, that's what he did most of the time. He likes to sit back and throw.
I hear the commentator say that.
Because it's the reason why he doesn't always sit back and throw and he has to run so much. It's so crazy. Maybe a man named Greg Roman. I'm not going to do this. Let's talk about it later.
That's not your time yet. That's not your time.
But you're right. Aaron Rodgers, he is one of those guys who, you put him on a boot route. Because they've always been compensating for the line. They've been compensating for injuries. Like Green Bay is just a really difficult place to play. And I think that more often than not, you find that he's getting a very mixed bag of nuts throughout the year in terms of receiving core, linemen. And I think that's partly to do with the weather. Yeah. Just because it's a real cold and kind of like intense place.
Especially around
I think it's also just, So I think it's just that like what he does is that we're so used to seeing him make something out of nothing that we just kind of take it for granted that he does.
That's true. And I'm thinking about, like, even if you look at like those miracle throws that he's made, like in the past, whether it is to tie the game or those go-ahead touchdowns to take it into overtime against the Cardinals, that was him like he looked like Kyler Murray in those throws. If you think about it, like that never came from the pocket. So it's something that I guess people may have overrated, maybe because he is white and everybody just assumed as a white quarterback, you're a pocket passer. But I'm like, Aaron's legs are one of his most deadliest weapons on top of the arm strength. And we all know about Aaron's, like that touchdown to Lazard. Like he throws the ball.
He's just like flicking it. It's mostly wrist.
He throws it's so disgusting because he throws the ball with as much distance as a Patrick Mahomes or as a Josh Allen, but he throws it with the force of a Drew Brees. So it's like it's just like a tap. And the ball is on the other side. And it's crazy because I'm just like, where's the power coming from? Is it coming from his legs? Is it coming from his arm? Is it coming from, I don't know,
God give it,
Holy
bro.
Spirit? Like, so,
you're either blessed with it or you're not.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers is a talent. Like, you don't teach stuff like that, Obviously, like, you can't disrespect his skills, what he's developed over time, but there's a lot where
you gotta hone the talent you're given.
Yeah,
exactly. But
in terms of skill set, he's the most complete quarterback we've probably ever seen. To be completely honest with you, and he can make the dink and dumps. He can make the deep balls. He can run. He can like cut you up from inside the pocket. There's nothing he can't do.
Did you see his
except win?
Except what?
But
I said win.
Oh.
No, but this is the conversation that we're talking about because we're getting closer and closer to that moment, right? And I was gonna say, going back to your point, nothing he can't do. Did you see that fake pump fake that he gave? I forgot who it was, but
that was the scramble to get in. But I don't remember who he did it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was sweet. That was sweet.
I mean,
but going back,
there's not much you really can do because it's like he can just fit it in there. So like it's like, do you commit to him throwing it, or do you commit to him?
I'd kill him.
There you go.
It's pick your poison with him because he's also so cerebral that he'll set it. So even that play that they call for Devontae Graham at the goal line, just to get him moving across the formation. The motion to get him moving across the formation. Literally, just like Jalen Ramsey can't cover. Like while dodging all his
you saw him dodging his own teammates.
You don't play man in that situation then. Because it's like
You don't
No.
play man in that situation.
I
But that was probably the call.
yeah.
The call was
Mhm,
probably, you in goal line situation, you take Devontae out of the game. You remove him from the equation so the rest of the team can play straight up.
But do you see him?
But
Did you see him yelling at his the other cornerback to be like, "Yo, you should have had him!" Like after that touchdown, he was so
Well,
yeah,
usually,
yeah, because
usually in
of
situation
course you
like
want to
that,
switch that.
yeah, exactly. Because like he's not gonna be
I
able
think I might have
to
said
cover the
Devontae Green. I
ground.
meant to say Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
Devon. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no. Even if he had wheel routed around the last cornerback, he would have gotten there so late. So he was trying to do his best to dodge, dick, and dive past the what's it called, his own players. And
Remember what they
it was
say?
like,
Yeah.
Remember what they say? I forget where they tell, but it's like, what's the fastest distance between point A and point B? A straight line. Devontae Adams, he just had to run from that side to the other side. Jalen Ramsey had to
the Brandon
do a
Freeman
little, huh?
No, sorry,
Sorry, you
you
froze,
froze
for a second. Say it
Oh,
again.
I
But
did.
you said it was like, what's the
What's the
fastest
fastest
distance
distance
between?
between? Yeah. But
Okay.
we were like,
We were like, what's
I
the
don't know.
answer?
What's the fastest difference between point A and point B? It's a straight line, right?
Straight
Straight
line.
line.
Yeah.
Devontae
Right,
Adams,
of course.
he just runs from one side to the other side, straight line. But Jalen Ramsey, he has to do like all that to get to him. So there you go. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And
there was
well,
also a couple plays.
the other
Sorry, Tim.
matchups. Yeah.
Sorry, Tim. But
No, I was
there's
just gonna
also a
say.
couple plays where he had him right off the line, and Devontae just cooked him with like a simple jabs move to the outside and came back in. And
Hold on.
Ramsey knew he was
Well,
beat at
let's not
that point.
downplay this. Let's not downplay this. Simple? Come on. That boy did anything but simple. I've been saying all
He makes it
season,
look
best
simple,
route
though.
runner
He makes
in
it look
the
simple,
league.
though.
He makes it look easy.
Yeah, he makes it look
Stupid easy.
And even Jalen Ramsey backed up. He didn't even
Of course.
he didn't even bother trying to follow him after that, because it's kind of like, I always compare it to like Pathfinders. You know, like whenever you make like for those who are listening, Pathfinders is a Christian version of Boy Scouts. And when you participate in Pathfinders, we do things like marching and drilling. So when you're marching and drilling and you make a command and they say left turn, but you accidentally make a right turn, the one thing they always tell you is that don't try to fix your mistake. Because if you have everybody moving one way and you make the wrong way, just stay where you are and fix yourself in the next command. Because if you make two double moves, your mistake looks twice as bad. So when Jalen Ramsey was beat, he didn't even try to recover. He just stepped back and prayed his other
Because at that point,
able to
that's how
cover,
you get mixed. That's how you get mixed at that point. You know how guys
Looking
like
like
once they beat you on a dribble move and then you try and recover from the dribble move and you stumble over yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce trying to guard Joe Johnson. I think that's probably one of my favorite ones. From back in the day. The crossover, and then Paul Pierce is out there on his hands and knees.
You can even go more recently
like,
with Beverly when he was guarding that one hard step back, and this dude, you know, like when you go to a barbecue and you only have a chair but you don't have a table, so you use your legs as a little de facto seat. That's what he did to Beverly.
Yeah, he got cooked, man. That's yeah. Well, the point is, the thing is, when you get crossed, though, so usually in football as well, whenever you get crossed, it's usually someone who plays really tight coverage. Someone who's able to be in the situation where reacting to somebody is going to have you going in two different directions if they catch you in the move, right? And that's what Devontae Adams has a ton of, just double moves and like just killer route, like real precise. Yeah, set you up to take you out. Like it's
the double moves, man.
I'm telling you, man.
He did say he doesn't have the same release every single time. He did mention that.
Yeah.
A lot of times he's freestyling out there, and it's like when you have that kind of freedom that you can freestyle and it doesn't really take you out of the timing that you have with Aaron Rodgers. That's amazing. That's amazing.
But it's very tough to cover.
But this is what we always talk about every episode, where it's like, this is the kind of question we talk about. You're going into playoff football, and you've been like, and we actually kind of touched this up on like our regular chat on the Instagram, where we say, like, you know what I mean, like football and NFL, like and football and NBA, you kind of like play these guys over a series, and football is just kind of like a one-time game.
Yeah.
To football's credit and saying like there is a like I remember how we talked about like is there an element of luck? Is it just a bad matchup? I feel like the element of luck may be not as much as we expect because these guys have an entire season to watch these men play. So Jalen Ramsey had an entire season to watch Devontae Adams play. And Sean McVay, I don't know the name of the defensive coordinator of the Rams, but they had an entire season
Is it still
to
Wade
watch
Phillips?
Devontae. Oh, Wade Phillips?
Is it? Not
Might
too
be.
sure.
It might be.
Well, doesn't matter now. He's not in the playoffs. But I was gonna say, but what I'm saying is that like we would all agree that going into the playoffs and I'm going up against all pro players on an opposing team, I can't be beaten by their best player. That's like the number one mantra you would think you would go into the game. So it's like, what was the mentality going up against Devontae Adams? I thought it would have been, we can't let this guy beat us. What should we do to prevent at all odds? Like, let Alan Lazard beat us. Let Robert Tunyon beat us.
I mean,
but not
he did.
Devontae Adams, he only had like 66 yards that game, and like it wasn't like he went for like 10 receptions at $150 or anything, but it wasn't like he wasn't irrelevant either. So he was doing his thing, but he wasn't the reason they won the game. I think they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't get pressure on AA run.
That too.
Yeah.
So there's just too many weapons to really stop. Now
they were just
and like. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
They were sorry. I'm just saying the Rams defense, they were just overwhelmed at that point.
Yeah.
Not to mention
just give credit where credit's due. Just to give credit where credit's due. The defensive coordinator is Brandon Staley. So
Brandon Staley.
Oh, so they got rid of Wade Phillips.
For the next time we talk about the next season.
Brandon Staley needs to stay home. And
he's ruining the namesake.
I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm sorry. No, but it's true. Like, I feel like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about like how I could have defended that team because obviously if you look at the one game that was like the outlier for the Packers, which was the Buccaneers game, and even the Colts game that they lost during the season, the Colts, it was an overtime, and Valdez Scantling just accidentally dropped the ball. Like that's just football mishap, right? But like they were completely taken out of the game in week 2 against the Buccaneers. So do you just have to be overly aggressive with Aaron Rodgers? Because like that big play Aaron Rodgers, like it's guaranteed 99% gonna happen if you're not on your if you keep him clean. Like I was watching, like Brandon said, I was watching his interview post game. This guy's jersey looked cleaner than mine, and mine was dirty.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think what's tough about Aaron Rodgers is that like, if you look at the Packers' success and failures over the past several years, how often of those failures can you say Aaron Rodgers is directly responsible for? You know what I mean? Like he more often than not, he's losing shootouts or receivers are dropping passes. But if he's on his game, that dude's almost impossible to beat, man. It's there's a reason why they're 13-3. There's a reason why they're 1 seed the NFC. Like even like looking at the 5 seed, from the NFC, they're 11-5. You know what I mean? Like, these aren't like scrub teams that are making the playoffs and dominating.
Okay, but let's look at all of the NFC Championship or the most recent ones. What happened last year with the 49ers? Would you have said Aaron Rodgers was on his game that game?
Like I said, he's not always on his game, but I'm saying if he's on his game, like it's very tough to beat. You know what I mean? Like,
and I feel like there's a mindset behind Aaron. Sorry to cut you off, Dave. I feel like there's a mindset behind Aaron is like if he's mentally checked out of the game, they're losing that game. Like he kind of plays. Like he kind of plays there's a lot in his mind, like in his psyche. Like if his mind is in a good place, he's gonna win. Like, and we're gonna bring up the conversation, but like it has to be said. That's the thing that you have to do. You have to say about Tom Brady that like his mind mentally, this guy might be the strongest football player that I've ever seen mentally, because you have to like put yourself in a mindset where say like, bro, whether the world is gonna end, I am going to will my team to win this game, kind of thing. And like I don't know if Aaron Rodgers has that. So if he's feeling good, they're gonna destroy. If he's not
He's
feeling,
got the
you know,
He's
and
not Captain Comeback.
yeah, well, he's not 28-3.
Yeah, that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is like, I will beat you in your face
Yeah.
for like an hour, for like 4 quarters. I will just beat you in your face. But if he's losing the fight, it's like whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, man,
Literally.
against my team.
Literally.
I'll see you guys next year. Like, and even if like I noticed that personality, not even just from like watching, because I'm not watching every single Green Bay game, but like just listening to his interviews and like just like that nonchalant personality. I feel like that's how he approaches football too, where he's just like, hey man, if we're winning, we're winning. If we're losing, all right, I'll see you guys next year. So he's not the one that's gonna be like, let's go. He's not the one picking fights with defensive linemen. Tom Brady. Sorry. Anyways. But yeah, so
he's a bad man. I can't do it as well as Emil or Stephen A, but you know, I did my best.
Hey, he is. Hey, bro, that's 2 NFC championships back to back. This guy is rising in the ranks.
I mean, I don't know about rising, but he's
already better than one of the QBs that we're about to talk about in a bit. But moving on to the evening game, the Saturday night evening game. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo in the windy environment of Buffalo.
I've never seen, like, if the wind was a person.
And he's out of there.
He just
out
hit his
of
camera.
there.
Hey,
Show yourself. Show yourself.
Dave, honestly.
Big Dave, talk to us. What happened?
Yeah. Take us.
For those who never saw that game, it was Buffalo won 17-3 in a game that was close for a little bit, a very defensive battle.
Until a concussion.
And then a pick six opened the game open by Lamar Jackson. So, Big Dave, talk to us. What happened?
I got 2 words for y'all. Greg Roman. Back at it again with the petition to end the career of Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. Here I am on my soapbox every week. I say the same thing every week, and we face the defense that finally exposed us for it. Because the thing is that the Buffalo defense has been great all year, and we just finally faced a defense that really gave us trouble. And like it's I think the thing is that with most of our matchups, we face a lot of teams that need to blitz to really get pressure. And Buffalo is one of those teams where they can just give you 4. Like Jerry Hughes is gonna come out there and rock whoever the right tackle thinks they are. He's gonna come out there and rock them. That's what he
Tremaine
does.
Edmonds had a good game as well.
He did. But he's had a great season. You know what I mean? He led his team in tackles. There's not a lot of things that you can do when you have a guy who's able to really sniff out a play. You know what I mean? Like you can leave a spy, you can rush 4, you can sit back and cover, you can sit in the zone. And they did that a lot. They really did drop back and sit in the zone. They didn't let Lamar run away with it. And they said, Hollywood, you want to run? Go ahead. We'll send one guy to follow you, and that's it. And they basically just did that the whole game. Mark Andrews, he was like, it was weird with him. I felt like he didn't have as good of a game as he could have. Yeah. Like I felt like he was underperforming, but he still got some catches. You know what I mean? It was just like,
there were some catches where it's like, oh, you could have had that one.
I swear he wasn't until like the second or third quarter that he actually started like participating or even contributing into the game.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there was an underuse. Wait, first of all, is it me? Or does Willie Snead look 10 times bigger than he did when he was on the Saints? Like Willie Snead looks like he put on like at least 35 pounds.
He
guy looks thick.
I mean, you live in Baltimore, you gotta learn how to hit. You know what I mean?
Or take kids. Not to the Baltimore streets.
I'm just saying we're not in a dome, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how these soft teams play. Just
hit the head and the body will follow. We are not soft.
Is that a bounty?
That's a bounty, fam. But no, nonetheless, I feel like they might have underlined, because that, to be honest, if you watch that touchdown, that interception drive, which was very, very painful to watch.
The interception?
The interception, yeah.
Yeah.
The drive, it was Willie Snead,
Yeah.
and then pick, right? I was like, they found something that could be working. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I don't know. Obviously maybe that interception kind of like took them away from that mindset. But like I feel like he could have been used a lot more earlier in the game.
You know what's crazy about that play? Do you remember when we were playing when the Ravens had that first game against the Steelers this season?
Mm.
Do you remember how that game ended? How the Ravens were one shot away from winning that
Isn't
game?
it when he threw the pass into like
Threw the pass in the
7,000
seam
different-
route and nobody could catch the ball.
Yo,
It's
why-
like, the Steelers were not for real because they barely won that game. But the Bills took the exact same throw and went back all the way with it. It is the exact same throw.
I didn't even realize that. Oh my god, that's the same play, and
It's the same play.
But it was to Willie Snead. Was it to no, who was
It was to Mark Andrews
It was to
again.
Mark Andrews. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
And you know why? Because that's the first read on that play.
Yeah.
Because it's the first read on that play. So whose fault is that?
He stared him down too, eh? He stared him
He
down.
stared
He
him
was like,
down.
"Ah." And
But that's the thing, that's because they had seen that play already. They could set it up. They're like, okay, he's gonna try and hit the seam route because that's always the first read for that play, for that formation, in that look, that hit the seam route. So all you gotta do is just set somebody up, bring them low, and drop them back as soon as the ball's in the air. That's a pick. And then we had to watch. I mean, Lamar can't be chasing men down, and then the concussion. I'm like, even if we won that game, I'd be like, Lamar has a concussion. There's no way we're winning next week. You know what I mean? Like, it's like.
Well, actually, if you had won that game, it would have been 2 concussion quarterbacks against each other. So it would have been
It's true.
Hundley.
Concussion bullet.
It would have been Hundley against the other guy. I don't know what the backup.
Bowl.
Right?
Will Smith Bowl.
Right.
Tell the truth. Yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
No, but for real, you're 110% right. And are we going to talk about the snaps?
Oh man, let's not even
snaps?
talk about them. There's nothing to say
Because that's
What
actually
can
what
you say
led
about
to
the
the concussion. That's what led to the concussion.
But the line itself had played bad like all game. Like, just
Remember when y'all were getting that pouncy last week?
Hey, look, man. I don't change my stance on it. You gotta be the man. You line as a lineman, you gotta get out there and be the man.
Toughest person
Like,
on
you
the
just
field. Have to.
your job is to get the ball to the quarterback and push the dude in front of you on his butt. That is your whole job. That is not saying that it's the easiest job because these dudes are monsters, but like, this is your job. This is what you gotta do. You can't, even if you don't make him drop, you gotta at least keep him away from your guy. You know what I mean? Like, Lamar is a crafty enough and quick enough dude that he can find openings, but you watch him take sack after sack, and then he's just trying. He takes a ton of sacks for a dude to being as quick as he is, and a lot of times you look at these plays like he's just dropping back and not even completing the rocker step yet. 5 steps, 4 or 3 steps, all of a sudden collapse, and it's just, what else can he do? You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen, like, I don't know if maybe I'm forgetting, but have you ever seen Lamar like line up under center instead of shotgun?
Hardly.
Yeah. It doesn't happen often.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever seen, like, maybe I just don't watch enough Baltimore games, but I don't think I've seen him line up that much.
You're right. And I was freaking out when I was with my dad. I'm like, I hate pistol. I hate when we run anything out of pistol.
Because analytics.
We're not.
Analytics.
I hate pistol for Lamar.
Analytics say that's when he's most efficient.
It's because he has to run so much.
Yeah.
True.
I would rather that we set up, line him up under center. Give me a nice little boot out of I formation. Come on, bro. Pickard's gonna be catching the ball anyways. You might as well do it. Literally, we could run like an I formation, like fullback, like fullback flat route.
Yeah.
And just we could go up and down the field like that, and then a couple hooks to like Mark Andrews, and then just hit Hollywood one time, going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. I'm just,
man, the play action.
I will wrap up my comments with this neat bow. Fire.
Greg Roman.
Greg.
And replace him with who
man.
though? You give us the symptom, but you never give us the cure. Replace him with who?
Oh, I told you North Turner. Give me
Oh,
North Turner
Oh, yeah,
any
you did
day
mention
of the week.
Yeah,
That dude has the football brain of a genius. He's
Hey,
the one who
man.
made everybody think that Philip Rivers is that guy.
Hey, man, listen. People that listen to this podcast, don't sleep. This could be landing on someone's ears, okay? So I'm telling you.
Hey, man,
two
if John
brilliant
Harbaugh
guys on.
ever hears this podcast, just know I love you as a man. And also, please get Lamar, even Todd Haley, man. I would take literally almost anybody at this point. Like, let's just end, because here's the thing: Lamar is gonna lead the league in rushing with the least planned runs in the NFL. You know what I mean? I don't think that needs to happen.
Goodness.
That's hilarious. Those are literally by accident.
Literally.
It's funny that you mentioned it. You're like, wow, Ravens have the most rushing offense by accident because Lamar doesn't want to run, but he's made to. That's true.
He has to.
Okay,
I was saying it to my dad, because my dad's like, I don't understand. They're the number one rushing offense. Why are you so upset? I'm like, Dad, watch this play here. Watch this play where Lamar goes and gets 16 yards running because he's stuck there trying to throw it to four guys that are all covered because they're trying to run a max protect or whatever the situation is. They're trying to. Lamar has literally nobody open, and he sits back there for as long as he can. But the line's breaking down, so where does he have to go? Forward.
Run, make something happen.
And that's the thing, man. When you get to
That's
the playoffs, bro, like your sins will find you out. That's the story of the playoffs.
All that running, that's what got Cam to where he is now. Because he was taking all those hits that he didn't have to, because the teams didn't want to put the requisite weapons to help them out, take the pressure off of their legs, use their arm more.
I don't even want to say it's the weapons. We got a great running back as a rookie. We got two speedy dudes on the outside. We got a really solid tight end inside.
But do you think those speedy dudes can be the number one
in the league?
Do you think those speedy dudes can be like a wide receiver one, the one that where you need a possession? That
here's my thing about a wideout one. You know what I mean? Like a wideout one is gonna get a lot of like brackets, a lot of like looks where they might line him up with like some kind of disguise, and that can be a bad thing when you have a quarterback that wants to run, right? So you have a quarterback that he's looking for that guy. He's like kind of like trying to move him, but he's got two dudes covering him, so then he has to take off. And if he was watching those two dudes covering, see if he can shake off either one of them, a spy could come up and just clock him in his chest, or someone catches him trying to run out of bounds. I would rather have some guys who just they're known for one thing. They're speedy guys. You're gonna clear out the box for these guys. That's just what they do. That's what I would personally prefer. Two dudes who are gonna clear out the box for Lamar, so that you're never gonna end up with 8 in the box. And if you do, it's a very easy, like ain't a ton of cornerbacks that can keep up with these guys going. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Any more thoughts you got, Tim?
No. Our resident Baltimore Ravens fans has broken
Chris
it down.
Broussard.
Has broken it down from top to bottom. And I'm like, for me, I feel like it's a success. Like, I'm obviously unfortunate that Lamar leaves the game like that with a concussion, but I'm just so happy that he did win a playoff game. And that's the first monkey off his back. The next one is now going up against Patrick Mahomes. So
his father.
He's able
to. Man, look, Marlon Humphrey's gonna be a difference maker for us next year, man. I don't care what nobody says. He's gonna get
the next, like, it's not over for the Ravens. Like, the Ravens are still a top contender in the NFL.
The man, he just turned 24. No, he just turned 24, so he's got beard time.
I would say I don't think he's gonna go the Cam Newton route, because Lamar actually, like, he doesn't get hit like Cam. Cam relied too much on his body to absorb hits.
True.
Like, Lamar's not backflipping into the end zone.
He's avoiding the hits. Okay.
He's kind of like just
sliding. He's not strong like that.
Yeah, like the guy's still he's black strong, but he's not Superman strong. So he's gonna take a hit. He's gonna survive, but Lamar is not going head first like the Chiefs backup quarterback to get that first down. That didn't. This guy could have been paralyzed.
Speaking of the Chiefs,
for a 4th and 1.
Speaking of the Chiefs, we had another set of games on the Sunday. We had the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Cleveland Browns. What was it? 22-17. And in that game, Patrick Mahomes, or as Quest says, Pat the God,
or my homeboy,
he went out.
Called Patrick.
Yeah, his mom is very stern with that. She's like, his name's Patrick Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is his dad. Sorry. Patrick, he went out like, what was it, the middle of the third quarter with what looked like concussion syndrome.
Oh, it was bad.
They did
because this dude looked punch drunk when he got up. Like,
you were saying he looked sleepy, and I didn't know what you were talking about. I was doing groceries, but I came back and I watched the replay. Did you see him stumbling?
He looked
like,
sleepy.
This guy's gonna die.
Man looked like he got hit by Mike Tyson, bro. You look like
it was head first, right? It was like
what they're saying.
Like, Lamar was the back of the head, but his was face first.
What I saw, like I saw a video on where the doctor broke it down. Pretty much, you saying it didn't even have to be his head hitting the ground. I think it's just the fact that his head went slow and then it just jerked forward. Like it can still move the brain amongst the brain fluid, and it could have. He still could have gotten the concussion like syndrome from off that. So
because it's all about the brain matter moving inside the skull, right? We're not doctors. No one, like the views of Overtime with BNT does not signify that we're professionals at this, but I'm assuming that the brain moving inside the head, it does, like, that's people who like move their head too fast, like a whiplash.
You get little
it's a nervous system, and then you get lightheaded. Your brain should never be rattled like that. And he's taken a couple of hits this year that I was like, wow, this guy's still standing. But I guess he said, remember Super Bowl last year? Somebody hit me. You need a hit. Yeah, they did hit you.
Hey, but Chad Henne, I have not heard that name since he was still with Miami. He came in.
Who he was before. Oh.
Yeah, I knew who he was because he was in the division. He was with Miami, and then he went to the Jaguars. He came in and he threw a pick, but then when they needed him to clutch up, he got a crucial first down that pretty much kept the ball out of Cleveland's hands and ended the game at that point. So, like, how'd y'all feel about that game?
Can we just say, though, I just want to say that Cleveland has arrived. I just want to, for all the garbage that they've been for all these years, say what you want about Baker Mayfield. Actually, you know what? Don't. Because you know what? The dude who has the spotlight.
I'm not gonna say it.
For the dude who has the spotlight on him, the way he does, and all the flat that he gets, dude comes out and he balls and he comes out as professional.
Play dangerous.
Because you know what? We could have got another Johnny Manziel. You know what I mean? Like that could have been the situation. But Baker Mayfield is he comes out there to play, and his team believes in him. He's just a young guy who's just trying to be happy and win games. And I think that he's learning the game. He's learning what it means to be a professional more and more every week. And you know what? Class act. I appreciate him.
Mm-hmm. Although some people do believe
he's earned my respect.
Some people believe that they could have he could have done more when he had the ball on that one drive where they had to punt, and effectively they didn't get the ball back after that. Like, just think if they get the first down there instead of having to punt the ball. Like, now you have the lead and you're not playing can we get the ball back one more time? Because as we've seen, like, again, because every time I bring up Chiefs talk, this is not Mahomes hate, but the last couple of games they played, all those games that were close, the defense was not able to get the Chiefs off the field to put their quarterback on the field for one last shot to get a lead. And ultimately, just like we said before, the Chiefs, they be giving up bare yards, but when they need that stop in the end, that's when Daniel Sorensen, I don't know, you didn't see what happened, but there was literally like a play before where he got PI and he gave up bare yards. And then the next thing, now he's getting a fumble out of the back of the end zone. He always gives up a big play, and then the next play, he's getting the ball back. And this has just been his MO for like the last 2 years now. So
that's Danny Boy. Danny, I might have to get a Danny Boy sword jersey. I might have to get a Danny Boy. Anytime you need somebody to just finish a game,
it's either him or Tyrann Matthew.
The ball game.
It's either him or Tyrann Matthew
Tyrann
making a play. Honey Badger. Oh my goodness.
That's to be expected.
Honey Badger gonna have a rough time next week, but yeah, I feel you.
Well,
yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah.
he knows
He's
how to
most likely
inspire.
gonna be getting Cole Beasley in the slot there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Or he's gonna get Diggle coming across the field on him. He's gonna have to change directions.
True.
No, but he plays inspired football, man. I'm telling you.
He does.
Like,
But I just
that's somebody. If we go back to our mental, like that's somebody who plays with a strong mind. So
never
if he gets
forget.
beat, he forgets about it. Moves on.
Never forget the Cardinals and the Houston Texans didn't want to pay that guy.
yeah, they were crazy.
Very
The
great.
chip on his shoulder is the size of my head. So I believe it.
From LSU days though, he was always that guy.
Yeah.
Man had a couple of issues legally back in the day, but man's
I
on
mean,
the straight
everybody
and
has
narrow.
that.
Yeah, but
here's
people
my
like
thing
to
about
hold
college
it
players,
against you. They like to hold it against you.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. My thing with college players is like,
Yeah.
man, you expect these dudes to be just loaded with aggression at like 18, 19 years old and do nothing wrong ever. Like,
they won't.
I don't know.
That's what they call it, right? It's controlled chaos. We want you to take someone's head off on the football field, but if you get a DUI, oh, you're not irresponsible and all that kind of stuff. Jenny Taft wants to kick you out of the NFL. She wants you never to be a run.
Jenny
back,
Taft, I
so-
love you, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, these guys are literally children.
She took an L for that one. Do you remember that, David, when
Yes.
Kareem Hunt got in trouble and Jenny
Yeah.
undisputed? Oh, I don't think. Anyways, that's not this. This is not undisputed slander hour, but yeah, big ups to the Chiefs. I don't know. Wait, so the question is, can Mahomes play next week, or is
I
it going to
think
be a
he has to
one-off?
clear the
Probably
protocol.
not.
But I feel
I
like
have
the
no idea
higher
how
ups.
he's going to clear that protocol.
Do you think the higher ups are gonna be able to market Chad Henne versus Josh Allen?
Yes, they're going to
Yeah.
show that 4th and 1 over and over again.
I mean,
Compared to Josh
gonna-
Allen versus Mahomes, the two strongest arms.
I think I've been saying that the Bills are gonna win this game already. So
Really?
this is extra soft.
I mean, you didn't see the
Really?
concussion coming.
No, I didn't see the concussion coming. But that's what I mean. Like even with Mahomes, even when I thought Mahomes was gonna play this game,
Mhm.
I still had
Yeah,
I
he
still
had
was
Buffalo
calling
in
for
the-
Bills Packers.
You had Buffalo in the play in the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
you're right.
Interesting.
So like
The thing
and
about
this thing, you got to play who lines up against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the nature of playoffs.
the
It doesn't matter that Kevin Durant tore his ACL. You know, you gotta get out there and get yourself a ring.
Hey man, some people think that Raptors ring comes with an asterisk. I don't, but some people think so.
The only asterisk is that's the longest championship in NBA history
Damn right.
because of how long it was before the next one.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Hmm.
The man was given buckets before his Achilles just snapped, and they were sweating up until that point. So I
Well, he's
guess
gotta
we'll
give
never
minutes,
know,
can't
like
just give him
Kanye West. I
No,
guess
we
we'll never
do
know.
because the game is over.
I was just about to say we do know the game ended.
Yeah, the series is over. I'm sorry if we're gonna be talking about Kevin Durant's ankles, we need to be talking about Brandon Roy. So let's not do this.
Hey, if what is it? If wishes were fishes, bro, the world would be an ocean. So we wish Kevin Durant's ankle didn't snap. We wish Klay Thompson didn't get bruised and battered. We wish Steph Curry could play. Nah, we wish all these things could have happened, but it didn't.
Did play.
And
And
Steph Curry did
we
play. It was
also
just he
wish
didn't like
that
that janky
Stephon
defense.
Diggs didn't catch that pass a couple of years ago.
well, exactly. Hey, we could
But
keep going.
since we're on the Saints
wait.
now,
You know, Brandon was loading that up for the past 2 hours. He was just
since
like,
we're on the Saints, let's begin. Let's begin. Let's talk
I got
about
10
this.
minutes and I'm out. I'm kidding.
let's talk about the Sunday night game, shall we?
I've been waiting
good.
all day for Sunday night. All right, who wants to go first? Unless you want to let me go first.
Sure, go ahead, Tim.
I feel
Go
like brother
ahead.
has a lot
Go
to
ahead.
say.
Go ahead. Nah, go ahead.
Come on, Homer.
Go ahead. This is
My
your
last
Come on,
name
Homer.
is- my last
But
name is-
I'll give the little rundown. So pretty much what happened Sunday night was the New Orleans Saints at home hosted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and in a thriller of a game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won that game 30-20. Tim, what happened in that game? Please continue.
Well, two things happened in that game. One, the Buccaneers played outstanding defense. Two, the Saints just gave the. I always say this, and I'll die on this sword. The Saints' biggest enemy is themselves. It always is. They gave that game away, and you can't come back giving 4 turnovers to a team.
You think Devin White think they gave it away, or you think
it's very simple? No. Devin White didn't punch the ball out of Jared Cook's hands. Devin White didn't intercept. What's it called? He didn't intercept the throw to Michael Thomas. Those things that like Devin White obviously was a huge factor, but I'm saying the way the Saints play, it's very frustrating because like.
So who intercepted that pass that went to Kamara?
No, I wasn't talking about the one pass. The one pass was the one interception didn't tell the whole story of the game.
Yeah, but the mic directs traffic.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm talking about like what's it called when it comes to the entire fullty of the game. But what I'm saying is that if you let me paint the picture for the listeners out there, the thing is that when the Saints play football, they always allow the team back into the game. When it comes to like if we talk about the NFC, what's it called, the divisional round against the Vikings in 2017, the Saints were down 17-0 against a team that they were better than. Andrew obviously willed the team back, and it was 23-24. And what ended up happening? They lost because of a miracle throw from Case Keenum. The next game after that,
looked like a routine throw to me, but I don't know. A very routine throw and a good catch.
But it's called a miracle because it happened out, and the cornerback, not cornerback, the safety completely missed the tackle. It was a routine throw, routine catch, and the safety goofed. Moving on to the next year, the Saints were beating the Rams, but what ends up happening? They don't convert on. Okay, for those who are listening, Brandon is giving me the quotes, but I'm not saying things that aren't factual. The Saints were beating the Rams, but what ends up happening? The Saints allow the Rams to make the game close, and if you allow a team to make the game close, they're going to capitalize on the mistakes. Game goes to overtime, and yes, Drew was pressured, and he threw a pick. Game goes into the kick, and Jared Goff and the Rams go to the Super Bowl. Rewind back to 2019 against the Vikings. Same thing happened, but Drew Brees just played terrible that playoff game, and it reared its ugly head this season. I'm not gonna lie, there's something about the playoffs that just I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the age or whatever the case may be, but like I don't know if it's the jitters. But when it comes to the playoffs, they just don't execute, which is the upsetting thing about it, is because the team plays amazing during the season. But then when it gets to like a very crucial moment of the game or very crucial moments of the playoffs, something just happens. Because the entire season, you can't say Kamara is not an all-star wide running back. What's it called was injured, but obviously like he didn't step up to the plate where we needed him. Michael Thomas. We have Emmanuel Sanders. We have great players who can execute. But when the quarterback is not throwing the ball past 20 yards, when the wide receivers are not holding on to the ball, and you turn over the ball 4 times on Tom Brady, you're asking to lose that game. So I'm going to ask you guys, unless you think I'm lying, but were the Saints not winning 20-3 entering the third quarter?
Do I think that happened?
No.
Or did that actually?
These are what happened. So I'm asking, were the Saints not winning 20-3 entering the third quarter?
It was 13-13 at the start of.
No, when they started the second quarter and the third quarter. The Saints
20-13. Yeah, 20-13.
Yeah. You at first said 20-3, and I was like, I
20 to
thought that
13.
wasn't the score.
I wish that was the score. No, no, 20 to
That would have
13.
been worse. If you were up 20-3 and you lost that game, that's
Hey
embarrassing.
man, we're still not the Falcons. We still
You're
But-
right.
I feel like you can't say that when you went home.
what?
I feel like you can't say that we're not the Falcons when you go home.
I don't know, man. Even if you go, come on, Super Bowl 28-3 compared to the divisional round that was a close game until the end. You can't like. There's a complete difference. There's a complete difference.
Hey, Dave, can you tell
I
me
mean, it was a
when
close
it's my
game by
turn?
like.
No.
All right, Dave,
I
continue. I'll wait for my turn.
Here's my thing, right?
Yeah, go
where it's
ahead.
like
Dave.
you can't blame the Saints for good coverage by the Bucs.
No. Okay, well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like, you know what I mean? Like it's
no. I'm not.
can't-
I'm not saying one negates the other. I'm saying one was a complement of the other. Like think about it this way. The Bucs,
Yeah.
like the Bucs played. This is the same Bucs that they played twice. Okay, they beat them the first time. They beat them the second time. But the main difference is that Drew Brees destroys zone coverage. But the Bucs realized that, like, okay, we played them twice, and we were playing zone the entire time. We played a little bit of man, and we found a little more success in the first game. But we still lost because we kind of let the game get away from us, 34-24. But the defense, Todd Bowles was like, you know what? Forget that noise. We're just gonna play press coverage on every single one of these wide receivers and force them to beat us. And when the separation wasn't there, and when your quarterback is not gonna throw down the field for them to actually make those deep routes, you're gonna have to pray that he throws the tightest of passes to his wide receivers. And if memory serves correctly, every single throw that was either to Michael Thomas was four targets, no receptions. The one reception didn't count, obviously, but the 4 targets, they were literally all either underneath or the cornerback was so close to him, he had his hand in the way. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not taking anything away from the Bucs defense, because the Bucs defense realized, like, yo, this is how you beat Drew Brees. He can't throw far, so stay on his man and play man coverage. But at the same time, you would be remiss to argue and say that the Saints did not turn the ball over 4 times. Obviously, they were good. They were good interceptions with Bunting and White. But like against Tom Brady, and you're giving him half the field to play, what do you want to happen? Go ahead.
What I told you the same thing. I'll tell you the same thing I told you last week. Michael Thomas being back in the game is exactly what limited their offense, because when they have him on the field, they have one thing they're trying to do: hit him with the slants. Do you know what that doesn't work against? Do you know what that doesn't work against? Good linebackers.
Savage linebackers. But he
does not work against good linebackers.
He was only targeted 4 times. Well, obviously,
he was covered.
It wasn't working, but
he was covered. That's why he has 4 targets.
But that's the thing. We
catches.
have other weapons on the team, which is another problem. That's what I'm saying. Like, they kept distributing it. Okay, look for Michael Thomas. But like, if you look at that pass, did you guys saw the touchdown against that Tre'Quan Smith caught? Did you guys see the replay and watch what happened to the linebacker core and the entire cornerback? See, I don't even know if anybody was actually
just run it by us quickly.
It's okay. Nonetheless, Kamara literally drew every single linebacker and cornerback except for the one that was like on the far right that Tre'Quan Smith beat. Bottom line, like there's ways to use your star players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's ways to use them as decoys, and by not using it because they draw attention, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you win. Because Michael Thomas doesn't win a game. The Saints win the game. You know what I mean? Like Scotty Miller doesn't win the game. Like the Bucs and the Buccaneers win the game. So that's how you use those players to their effect. And obviously the Saints didn't do enough of that. The played outstanding, and Tom Brady capitalized on our mistakes.
And I was pointing this out to you very quickly. There's a difference between Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas. And that's where we have to really kind of, because when you got to feed your wide receiver one, there are plays to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's you gotta know what you have in your bag. You know what I mean? Like Jalen, who had the harder matchup? That weekend.
For sure.
Devontae Adams or Michael Thomas?
I could say that Michael Thomas had some injuries.
Can somebody say that it is my turn?
You know what?
Yes,
Let's go, Brandon.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Thank you. It is my turn. I am about to take the roof off of this show now.
All right, Skip. Go.
Go ahead, Skip Bayless.
I
Wait,
must have
hold
saw
on.
something different.
Since he's starting as Skip Bayless, we already know that this
It's
is a
my turn. You told me it was my turn.
Go ahead. Go
It
ahead.
is my turn. Listen,
Been waiting.
I told you guys time and time again. I told you. There's one man that I do not bet against in
Hold on, time out. Are
playoff.
you literally reading a script off of Undisputed this morning? That's literally how us started. This is literally how
I never bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Even if he loses, I hold that L. But there's one guy I do not bet against. It's Tom Brady. Now, in that game, the MVP of that game goes to Devin White because as if you guys are avid listeners of this show, Dave literally said last week Devin White is gonna be the difference maker. He's gonna be all over the field. I don't think y'all remember Devin White. He ran a 4.3 at the combine. It was either 4.3 or 4.2. That is literally like wide receiver running back speed.
That's
right
scary.
there at a linebacker. He weighs probably like 230, 240. Imagine that running at you coming out of the backfield. Ask Alvin Kamara because he did not enjoy getting tackled by Devin White. Secondly, you have to give it up to those cornerbacks because I sent y'all that one link earlier. I believe it was Sean Murphy Bunting. He was saying that Michael Thomas was trying to grill the man down on the sidelines as a type of intimidation factor. And it did not work because Sean Murphy Bunting had the game of his life against Michael Thomas. Literally the game of his life. Because if Michael Thomas is even more of a factor, they probably lose this game. Simple. Devin White held Alvin Kamara in check for the most part. I didn't really see Alvin Kamara catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. And there was a couple passes that did go his way. Devin White was getting some pass breakups as well. So MVP of the game. Leonard Fournette came true. He provided some valuable runs for them. When Ronald Jones was looking like Ronald Jones, he had a couple of big games, but he's got some hamstring issues going there. It was beautiful. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing the Saints fall as they stood there in great disappointment. And I see Drew Brees on the sideline looking at famous Jameis, who should have been playing from jump. And he was saying, "This is your team now." He whispered that.
Saw that.
And Mike Evans, I said it as well.
He went all might on him?
He said, "This is your team."
He went all might on him. He whispered it. It wasn't audible, but you could apparently every NFL I guess you could say prognosticator can read lips. And he said he's your team now when he was talking after the game to Jameis Winston.
Remember what I said though. I said that Mike Evans had to win a couple of his matchups with Lattimore. And the one matchup he did, it was for a touchdown that pretty much put them in the lead. So it mattered. But I know real life, like Mike Evans wants to see him in the parking lot. I know for a fact he wants to see Marshawn.
No, they hate each other.
I know he wants to see him in the parking lot.
Absolutely can't stand each other. They were fighting each other during the 2-minute break. Like 2-minute break, you're supposed to go sit down.
Bro, the man unstrapped. He's like, "Yo, so what is it?" type of thing. Like, when the man unstrapped, Mike, like, "Yo, take off your helmet," type of thing. Like hockey when you take off your gloves, like that. It was one of those type of thing.
Mike Evans started this. It was 3 years ago.
He did definitely. I saw the blindside
magic. Completely, and ever since that.
Marshawn has taken. He's like, "Yo, this guy. It's no love between me and him.
It's no love." And to be honest, like I know, like I don't want to have to go back and forth because I really want us to just like look at the game objectively. He did an outstanding job on Mike Evans.
Yes,
Mike Evans literally had one catch. Yes, it was a touchdown, but to be honest, it's red zone on the 3-yard line. If Mike Evans,
that's his spot. So
Mike Evans at 6'5", come on, boy.
If he doesn't catch that, we need to reconsider his position as Mr. Multiple 1,000-yard seasons. But like, if we literally objectively look at that game, they started like Tom Brady's worst field position after a turnover was at the 40-yard line of the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me that, like, I look at my defense and I say that defense, that's the best Saints defense that we've ever had in the entire year of Saints, like ever since the Dome Patrol. This is the best Saints defense that we've ever had. Like Dome Patrol, yes, whatever, but even the Dome Patrol didn't make it to the NFC Championship, and this defense made it to the NFC Championship 2018. Point being, you can't ask this defense to do what they did for an entire 4 quarters.
You can't ask any defense.
You can't ask any defense, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And even an all-star defense, even if we rewind and we go back to the Chiefs game, if you guys remember the Chiefs game against the Saints, they defended 90 snaps.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 games. So our defense played 2 games against Patrick Mahomes when he was healthy, and they only beat us by 3. And I'm not saying, oh, the Saints are that good, but I'm just saying that is the caliber of this defense when they have the. Brandon, just let me finish the conversation. Let me finish.
I bet you if Jameis was playing, they would have had a chance.
No, I don't think so. Because like
he can at least air it out downfield. But
the thing is that like the idea of having somebody who can do that gives like this is basically this is like that's why I started with the preference of saying the Buccaneers and the Saints. The Buccaneers were designed to beat the Saints. They literally went out and got their White. And
that's crazy that you say that the Buccaneers are designed to beat the Saints when they lost them twice in the
season. No. But what I'm saying is that like what's it called? Like the players that they went after are designed to match up against the Saints players. But play calling is a completely different story. Hence the reason why Todd Bowles took an L twice. He realized that playing zone is not good because Drew Brees picks those spots. But what they're like the thing. Remember how we talked about series? Is like this is the first time we actually got to see NFL series. Like they played them 3 times, and they were like, okay, we took an L twice, and we realized that it was because we're leaving pockets in the backfield open for Drew Brees to just pick apart. Did you guys watch the tight coverage? Literally, there was 11 people just standing in front of the line of scrimmage like this, in front of all the wide receivers. And they were like, you are not going to beat us 20 yards deep. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to either throw the ball down or run the ball as hard as you can. And that touchdown drive that Tre'Quan Smith scored, it was a rushing drive. And that's why I wanted the rushing yards to continue. As much as we can praise Devin White and Jamel Dean and the secondary, Kamara was still getting 4 yards a scrimmage. Like he averaged 4 yards a run. And that against those guys, that you only wear out a team as you keep doing it.
Yeah, because he wasn't getting those in the first half, and then towards the second half, they started giving a little bit more.
Exactly. No, honestly, like that's why I said, objectively speaking, if you look at that touchdown that Drew Brees scored, they ran that ball 80% of the time, except for like maybe the last couple, got a couple of PIs and whatnot, scored the touchdown. But as soon as they went into that second drive, and I'm just like, why are you running? Why are you throwing the ball when your quarterback doesn't have the arm strength to do it anymore? And you have the lead. Look at this guy. Look at this.
That's that noodle arm.
That's that noodle. That's that noodle. No, but in all seriousness, like you can get the throw, once in a blue moon from Drew Brees in a game, but like if it's a consistent thing, and Drew, we need you to throw us out of this game. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I said it before the game, but I think missing Taysom Hill also mattered.
Big time.
I think it mattered.
Because okay, think about it this way. Think about
even if he's not throwing, I think just having him where you can run a 1-2 gadget plays, that mattered.
Well, look at what the gadget play did when because that play was put in there because Taysom Hill wasn't there. Look what the gadget play did to the defense of the Buccaneers. And the thing is that like think about it as a Saints fan, and I don't want to go on, but think about how the game started. Punt return to the Saints kicked it off to Tom Brady. 3 and out, punt, runs for 80 yards, pulled back. Okay, goes into what's it called? A field goal.
Yep, 2 field goals. They needed to score there. That could have been a huge
And those are
momentum boost.
the Taysom Hill red zone plays where he's in shotgun, gets the ball, gets 3 yards, jumps over the end, just a quick thing, and they could have finished that game, man. Like, I'm gonna say this just to end it off. The thing that hurts the most is because as a Saints fan, you watch this team have 4 chances to go into the Super Bowl, and it just came at the worst time when Drew Brees is a lot older and he can't do what he used to do. But like, you have 4 chances to get into the Super Bowl, and each of them you could say, okay, the first one out of nowhere throw, second one PEI went to the third one offensive pass interference. But it's just like, I was telling my friend, which is kind of sad because my friend, he's another Saints fan. We're like, at the back of your mind, you kind of have a feeling that something bad is going to happen because of what you've experienced. Where you just know that, okay, you know what? Let me not think about that. And the game started, and you're like, yo, okay, 2020 going 13-13 going into the first half. It's Tom Brady. Let's respect the GOAT quarterback, as they say. But we came out and scored a winning touchdown. And we scored a go-ahead touchdown, in the third quarter. So you're like, okay, this is moving where it should be. But then I truly believe, you guys can say what you want, I truly believe that Jared Cook fumble was literally the momentum shifter of
Antoine Winfield Jr.
And he beat him. He beat him to catch the ball, and he ran like he was holding a loaf of bread, and he got punched out.
It looked like he was trying to switch hands or something.
No, he was not. He was not. This has happened to Jared Cook at least 3 times in the season, and it's like
don't give him that.
Yeah, don't give him that. Don't give him that. As a Saints fan, we watched Jared Cook fumble the ball. If you remember the last game, the score could have probably been like 43-3, but Jared Cook fumbled the ball at the 2-yard line. And you're just like, when he catches the ball, as Saints fans, just like, please don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball. And it wasn't to be. And then those 2 other picks with Bunting and Devin White was just the defense were on a roll, and they said
they were just zooming at that point.
What Michael Thomas said, like I say it every single time, no matter what team you play, if you have demotivation, nothing is going to stop you. And Bunting, nothing stopped him.
And now Brady is going on to the NFC Championship, the only type of game that he has not won yet. But, however, we are short of time because us busy men have places to be. We will be back, hopefully, Thursday, if that's cool with you guys. But we're going to talk about the upcoming games coming up this weekend.
Big
we'll have some more, but we had to get a little recap fresh off the dome because of this weekend. Appreciate you guys for watching.
Did you see his pun? The Superdome. No! Before I say it, you know the worst part about all of this? You know the worst part about this? It's going to be a long time before we get that chance again.
Good.
That's what hurts the most. That's what hurts the most.
Don't worry, it's James's team next year.
Hey.
Say goodbye.
Jameis is my guy. Jameis is my guy.
To what? I'm not a singer like Dave, but I try. Anyways.
Wait, did you sing like this to the Ravens? Or do you just find pleasure when the Saints lose?
I like seeing you miserable, T. I like seeing you miserable. You're always so happy all the time. I want to see you miserable just once or twice,
Oh, every January. You should have just called me the last January for the past 4 years. I did every single January. How do you think? I made a YouTube video about the Minneapolis Miracle, fam. Just call, I told Brandon this. Literally, he was like, Tim, I want to see you miserable. I'm like, fam, just wait till January. That's when you'll see me miserable. 2017, 18, 19.
All miserable time. Anyways, appreciate you, Dave, once again for showing up. Appreciate it. You know where to find all of us. The Brandon Andrew on Instagram. The B is a 6. Tim is Dem1s, DEM1NEZ.
Yes, sir.
Some people say Z, I say Z. And Dave is Mr._Piano Man. Show us some love.
Got it.
So, like I said, watch us on YouTube or listen to us on Anchor. We are on Spotify, Google Pod, iTunes, all that other stuff. Anyways, y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all for listening / watching. Peace out.
We'll see y'all.